we talked about 2020. So I want to bring up like what the top 10 topics of 2020, y'all. The top 10.
When you say top 10, you mean good or bad or
top 10 moments of 2020 and affecting Black people. I'm sorry, I'm going to clarify that. Thank you, producer Jamie. So the number one thing this year, I mean, when we talked about this for all of us, I think was COVID-19.
Yeah.
It affected our community in several kind of ways. We lost a lot of loved ones that we all cared about. It just showed us the discrepancy in healthcare, in the have and have nots. It was really traumatic in jobs. And then it showed how essential workers were mostly us and how it affected us. And, in the top. So COVID-19 has got to be number one.
Yeah. No question, man. It changed so many things, and just COVID-19 came in, man, and just rearranged society, bro. Like how, and all the things that it touched, from how we work and how we think of ourselves and how we relate to people and how we relate to government and the news, and it just changed everything, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so many things.
But before that, Kobe early on in the year, I believe it's like January 26th or something like that. Kobe, that was big, not only for the Black community, just the globe. Everybody see this iconic basketball player, so young. Yeah. Kobe, that kind of set the tone in 2020 to see
Well, I hate to cut you off, Kelvin. Let's for 2020, let's start off with the least worst and end with the worst. How about we do that?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
The least worst had to be, I think everybody that's watching can agree, was the Red Bull machine theft. I mean, I think that's one of the things. It's just maybe that's an honorable mention, but
I'm going to say.
Go ahead, Robbie.
No, I think the least worst thing was probably that McDonald's brought back the McRib. That's the least. And then it probably started from then. We can start from this is Black conservatives. That's what I think.
Black conservatives was, oh my God. The coon, the year the coon came out. The raccoon. I'm sorry, I don't want to call Black the coon. The raccoon.
Yeah. The raccoon was big today. There was money in raccooning in 2020. A lot of raccoons took advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? They said certain things so they could join certain administrations, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they can build following, so they can start to generate a white following, you know what I'm saying? So there was money to be made for raccooning in 2020.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you though, I don't want to disrespect anybody who thinks of themselves as a conservative. In the beginning of the year, I was definitely like, I always say, what the hell are you conserving? You're a Black man, what are you conserving? But I realized I don't want to disrespect anybody who's conservative, because I've had conversations and I realize we all have some conservative things, things that we're conservative about, you know what I'm saying? Certain ideas, that align with what they call traditional value. But what we're talking about with the raccooning, man, that's something different. But this was the year of greed. You know what I'm saying? So That's something different.
Yeah.
That's what motivated the raccooning was, like I said, money. You know what I'm saying? They saw opportunity to make money, like I said, to get into the White House, like I said, to go off on social media. Because the thing is, when you're raccooning, you want to try to build a white base to follow you, so they can say, "Hey, look, they're saying this about Black people too." You know what I mean? And it gives white people validation when they hear Black people cooning like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
The next thing I think was, like I mentioned earlier, was the online learning. Or everyone that has children in here, I know, like my man Scott has kids. Rodney, you have a lot of kids. Derek, you have children. And I have a son and stuff like that. That got to be one of the new things, and it might change the way education is. I sat on a lot of forums over this last year talking about education discrepancies with online learning and all that, like getting tablets to young people and getting Wi-Fi, because a lot of my students I deal with live in shelters, and a lot of shelters are built with cinder block, which don't have Wi-Fi. Can't get Wi-Fi service. So that gotta be like the next one on the list. And then I think it's gonna change up, because my son is not going back to school. I don't know about your guys, your kids, and stuff like that.
Well, my kid is not going back. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed that they basically told us when the kids went off on the weekend this week, they said that they were going to go on virtual learning Monday and Tuesday, because my kids go like 2 days a week, and then they're home the rest of the week on virtual learning. So now I'm thinking they may be shutting the schools down where I live now after this weekend. So and then another thing too, they had this big thing where they were giving out laptops to everybody too from the schools. So it kind of makes me think that they're preparing for another school closing.
Oh yeah.
The virtual landing is tricky because the kids, they're not interacting with other kids. Then they're distracted in their rooms. They get to play games in their rooms and stuff while they're virtually learning. You hear all types of crazy stuff in the background in kids' houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because because a lot of people some schools are trying to get on people for telling the kids to have the cameras on, but they didn't realize some of the kids were living in shelters with one room and it's like 3 kids and the father, mother, everybody's in. So that was wrong. That was people then people were not being sensitive to young people that don't have the means.
Correct.
It's tough,
so it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah. Number 9 is working virtually from home. Now everybody can chime in on this. I love it and I don't love it. Because my ass, right now, I'm in pajama pants. I must wear these pajama pants 5 days a week.
Yeah. My wife made some type of business phone call one day, right? And she said this working at home thing is crazy because she heard the toilet flush in the background. She heard the person yelling at their kids, So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy working from home.
But it's going to change.
Go ahead.
No. I think what I'm saying with the business wise, it's going to change commercial real estate. Crazy.
Absolutely. A lot of businesses are not going to go back to brick and mortar places because they realize that they can pay you to work from home now, and they still can get the same, productivity from you. So a lot of places like storefronts and stuff and buildings and stuff, office space, all that stuff is going to get hurt. It's going to get hurt real bad.
I think it'll just reset the market though.
You say again, Calvin?
I think it'll reset the market. In other words, those buildings are not being torn down. That somebody's going to come and rent that. They're just going to reset the market. Somebody,
they'll create other things for it. Yeah, but the thing is, it'll probably take a while before something catch on. So I still think commercial property is going to be hurting for a little while. Yeah, and the restaurant business is definitely going to be hurting for a little.
And
while.
That's the one you really got.
The restaurant business and rent. People like now look how many deals. Like one of my students called me the other day. She lives, I forgot what part of Brooklyn. My old student, and she got the first 2 months rent or 3 months rent free, and they gave her free parking for a year.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's down. That's different in New York, and then the prices have dropped. Brian, the percent? I think 30%, something like that.
I think the thing for the summer, like Manhattan, is definitely hurting when it comes to renting. You know what I mean? Because people are trying to get out of Manhattan because when they had the shutdown, everybody was cramped into their apartment. Now everybody's moving out to the suburbs, buying houses. That's why the house market in Queens and Nassau and stuff is booming right now because everybody's trying to buy a house.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Sell your house. Now's the time, man.
If you're looking to sell your house now, it's good if you're leaving the state. Yeah, because then you're going to go and you'll sell high and then you'll go buy low. Right. But if you're going to stay in New York, you're going to be selling high to go buy high. People are paying like $20,000 over asking right now. Yeah. It's just amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, people don't want to be cramped in apartments now because they have a shut in. They want to chill in their backyards. They want to relax. They want to have a change of scenery. They don't want to be cooped up in a building anymore.
Right, definitely.
And I think the number 8 is the year of the Karens.
Wow. Yeah. Karen was big.
Karens were getting on my nerves where I just wanted to smack Karen my goddamn self. And the thing with the Karens, it never happens to me. I never get in a Karen moment.
No,
I think if it's a guy, me with the religious or whatever it is, ancestors, they said not this one. This person D can't have that Karen incident because I don't know how to react. I won't react the way that some of these people do.
I agree. I probably wouldn't react the same way either.
A Karen or Ken might get these hands.
Well, let me ask you a question.
I'm not going to pull out. That's why I'm not going to pull out my phone.
Okay, so let me ask you this question because I heard a white woman tell me she saw a Karen. So I thought it was universal. I thought it was something that black people called white people. A Karen is just anybody that get on your nerves.
No.
It's a white woman who's they in your business doing too much, bro. They're
caring too much. That's how the word Karen came from.
That's a good point. Yeah, they're caring too much. They're caring too much.
They're caring too much.
When it's not your turn to care, man. When it's not your turn to worry about it, think about it, look at it. Come on, keep it moving.
And then they got the Kens out there too.
Yeah, the Kens are
they're basically people that are empowering their whiteness, and they figure that I'm going to keep this black person.
Yep. And this time, people with the way social media is, these Karens are getting checked. They're losing jobs. Some people are making a move out of apartment complexes and neighborhoods and stuff like that. So
they're losing their dogs.
They're losing their dogs.
They're taking the dog too.
Well, there was a Karen situation in Central Park.
In the Central Park, yeah.
They took the lady's dog from her.
Oh, the brother, they did that, yeah.
Oh, the bird watching. The dude that's a bird watcher.
There you go. Yeah.
Karen, welcome to being black in America.
Yeah.
You try to set it on us, now we set it on you.
Right, just reflected on. Got to take. Yeah. Wow, man.
And for number 7. Essential workers, man. We needed those people this year.
Yeah, we found out who they were. You know what I mean? And we found out essential workers. There are certain people in this we just cannot do without in our workforce, and they found out who they were. And I hope maybe I don't know. Maybe the pay will start to reflect it. It's crazy that the essential workers tend to be on the lower end of the pay scale, but they're essential, man. That's the part that really out about it.
Yeah. The thing is, people discovered in 2020 if their job was essential or not.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I discovered was essential? I never knew liquor stores were essential. They are. Yeah. They're considered essential.
I know. They kept the peace. Yeah. Hey, Rob, we know the marijuana dispensaries.
The marijuana dispensaries are considered essential. That's right.
They got to keep you drunk and high to deal with this.
Because the dispensaries in New York State the marijuana is considered medicine.
That's right. And I got my card. And I have my marijuana
card. There you go.
I got problems. I got back, shoulder.
Marijuana.
Can I get some of that from a lumbago? You know what I
mean? Yeah. Alcohol is essential, man. Alcohol is essential.
Oh man. Yo, listen, number 7, my brother. We all miss him, Brother Chadwick.
That was a big loss.
That one I think shocked everyone because the brother was so dope. He should have got an award for just doing work, having cancer, and still showing up to work, and nobody knew it. And he delivered on everything. I mean, he has a new one on Netflix now. I think this might be
that was his last movie.
Last night.
Amazing,
bro.
Yeah.
Already Black Bottom.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
That was the last movie he made.
Denzel produced, amazing, bro.
I'm gonna check it out tonight, man. Like
check that out, bro. It was no joke.
Everybody that sees that show, go on there and watch it and support that. Definitely go on there and support
it's easy to watch. It is wonderful. You'll be like, it's incredible. And Viola Davis, of course. You know what I mean?
She's in it too.
Did she have a snot bubble in this one? Did she cry with a snot bubble?
I don't think she had, but she did have some gold teeth. So that was nice.
She had grills.
She had a grill.
She had to gain weight for that, and she still couldn't make weight, and she had to put in a fat suit.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that Chadwick, man, we're gonna miss that brother. The next one was another one that we lost, an icon. This is a big brother, my frat brother, Mr. Brother John Lewis, and C.T. Vivian. So I almost got C.T. Vivian. I forgot about that one, Jamie. Yeah, John Lewis was big time, man. People like I know a lot of young people don't know who he is. They thought they just heard about him probably this last year, maybe 2, when it the stuff he did over the years. But he was the last brother that was with Dr. King. That was the last brother that made the I Have the Dream speech, the March on Washington. Yep. John Lewis was really, really cool brother. I met John Lewis once, and then I met him in passing one time at the African American Museum. But I met him when he came to Benedict College a couple of years back. Yeah,
I saw him when I was in Houston. One of my friends, her church, he came there when Beto was running, and saw John Lewis. It's amazing just to even have a chance to see him in person. So yeah, definitely. We need to stand on his shoulders. Absolutely.
Yep, him and CT. Yep. And then we already said this, but we're gonna bring it up again. Our brother that set up the year, we should have known this was gonna be a bad year. His brother was dynamic, and the passing Kobe Bryant is deep because not only did Kobe pass, and we all know we all gonna pass it, but how he passed and who he died with his daughter and his daughter's friends and stuff like that. That was traumatic, and it could have been a preventable death, and that's what I think hurt us the most, and that happened that way. I mean,
the suddenness of it, the way it could have been prevented, and then just the reaction and the coming together of various communities. The way it kind of galvanized people in a way that maybe we kind of needed to share some pain, together and share our moments together with Kobe. We really could have used, on that level too. I think that was kind of, almost cathartic on a level, in some ways, you know what I mean? So it's as sad as it was also cathartic. You know what I mean? And we were just kind of able to just emote. And everybody remembers where they were when they got the information, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those situations you knew exactly where you were and what you were doing when you heard the news about Kobe passing.
But the internet is so foul that you hear a lot of people. Like I heard Eddie Murphy died like 1,000 times. He was one of the people that they just kept saying died. You ever heard that? It was like Eddie was one of the people that they used to be Eddie Murphy. It was always a rumor. And so I thought when I heard the Kobe, I thought it was just a rumor. I thought it was an internet rumor. And then when it starts coming in, news travels so fast. And yeah, man, it's just tough. It makes you look at your own mortality.
Oh yeah. Because I think that's when people start looking at getting life insurance policies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like this guy had all the money in the world. He's only in his early 40s, and to go that damn, that hurt. That really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the blues almost, man. You know what I mean? Like everybody could just kind of. You had all this buildup of things that was going on with people, man. You just say things that. It just made you look at life different,
And D, you're right. You're right. People definitely have to make sure they get insurance policy, keep them paid up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important as well. You know what I mean? Because I know how many families I've dealt with where people weren't able to pay for funerals. You know what I'm saying? And then putting the family in more financial debt as a result of the funeral.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. That right there. This year.
I paid a lot of money to GoFundMes, man. Between a lot of people. This year alone, I sent a lot of GoFundMe money off, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the younger you get it, the younger you get life insurance, actually, the cheaper it is.
It is, yeah. Exactly.
Well, we're gonna do a show on that. That's what we gotta do. A show. Like
we gotta get a show
whole
on
life
that
and term life. We definitely gonna do a show on that. So the number 3 is our first black vice president.
Yes,
Miss Kamala Harris. Well, I'm not a big fan of, but
right. But you know what? Right. She got a lot. Listen. She got a lot. If we asking questions, she got a lot to answer for, right? But considering what we're coming through, we just got to take somebody that just doesn't look like a joke, and then and we just got to put in there and just see what's happening, see what comes out of it, man. You got to
give her a chance.
You got to give her a shot, and and see. And,
brother, at this point, I'll take Megan Thee Stallion.
Right, that's what I'm saying, bro. This dude we just left behind, bro.
Yeah.
Got us looking crazy.
But anything is a step up from anything's a step up from him.
But no, I like Kamala. I like her as a senator. I love the way she would go in any hearing. I don't care what she start off with the protocol, like thank you for coming, glad to see you, and then she just goes in. I like that, but I know a lot of people have a problem with her as a prosecutor. But I just in the Senate, I thought she just got busy. You know what I mean? And plus, I thought she was really cool with Obama. I used to love their interaction early on. So, but again, to see the history, to see the first black male president, first female black VP, it's just a great time to live. I can only imagine that people that lived years and years before us could not imagine. I mean, some people couldn't imagine eating at a lunch counter or walking in, sitting in front of the bus. But then to see this, the top of the government, is beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think we need to. I think there's some young sisters, young girls that need to see her be in her position, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just we need that just on another level, just maybe even on a symbolic level. We just need her there. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, we gotta support that system.
Yep.
Yeah, I said this on one of the past shows. It did surprise me that a woman of color became the vice president or president before a white woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that white women actually prefer to have a white male as their vice president or their president. Now, because Hillary Clinton ran for president and she lost, and the majority of white women in America still voted for Trump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that kind of reveals something to me, that white American women do not want to see a female in office in the White House. So.
Right, and I think the other thing is this: the fact that she's a VP behind the oldest presidential elected president ever elected. So I mean, there's a great chance. Well, I shouldn't say it like that because it sounds foul. But I mean,
say I said it.
But like this, she need to be on the sidelines warming up. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah. All. Joe's gonna see the upper room maybe before the next program.
See,
come on, D. Come on,
D, because he got the alley oop it. He ain't gonna take it.
Yeah.
All right. The number
D
2.
Gonna say that shit. D gonna say that shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it.
You gonna say it.
Hey, I might be a little high on the show. No, let's fuck with y'all.
I'm gonna drink this one.
Oh man, look at Jamie there. Number 2, brother George Floyd, sister Breonna Taylor, brother Aubrey, and brother Elijah McCain.
Yeah, very tragic.
That set off the trend. I think that was one of the nails in the coffin for this presidential race for a lot of other people, a lot of other seats too. And Rodney, you could probably talk a lot about how it should change police departments and how they police people, especially people in our Black and Latino communities. But we sacrifice. Sometimes, like and Kelvin, you can do the biblical stuff. You throw some words, but the sacrifice always happens for a greater movement. And these people, like they will sacrifice for us, hopefully, as people to come together, and also for the change policies in government.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from a person that has law enforcement background, like when I saw the George Floyd incident, I was horrified by it. It, and I think the mistake that law enforcement made was, they wouldn't come openly out and just condemn it. You know what I mean? And that was my problem with it. That was one of my problems with it. Like where I felt like a lot of people in the departments all over this nation should have came together and said, no, we're not going to tolerate that, and basically hung this guy from the rafters. And it just seems like, how people came out, slandered this guy, victimized the victim, went in the guy's background, tried to find everything possible about him to villainize him, when you just sat there and watched a man just be, just murdered right in front of your eyes. Like I said, I was horrified by it. And then like I said, and to see law enforcement stand behind it, I just was disgusted by it. Disgusted.
Yeah. I think this was a year where I guess your average Joe Blow white guy or white woman could see all the things that we have been
complaining about.
Not just the death, but from the cover up, as you say, what that comes afterward, the assassination of the character afterward. You know what I mean? Just the media spin that comes afterward. It's something, when you see something like that is just completely indefensible, time after time after time, and then you see the same script happen time after time after time. It's the same reaction. It's got to leave critics after a while. Even if you came in skeptical, you have to be like, man, I just keep seeing it myself now, and I keep hearing about it. Now I'm seeing it. It's got to leave a mark somewhere.
Yeah, it's like just Scott said, even white people were horrified by what they had saw. Well, most white people, some white people still feel like
it was nothing.
It was nothing. The police are right no matter what.
And they don't
that's just the way it is.
Yep, and they don't see
no value. They don't see no value.
In our lives. Like they just released a new tape on the brother Aubrey, the white man just standing around and get cuffed. He's walking around with blood on him. That was insane and crazy. That
was what they basically did on that scene. Was basically they automatically assumed that the white guys were right. They automatically assumed that they were the good guys without the investigation. Now you come on a scene, you see somebody shot, they got guns, and there's somebody laying on the ground. Guess what? Everyone's supposed to get cuffed up, and you figure it out later on. But basically, you knew that I think the father was a retired police officer.
Yep.
So, and then I think the officer was familiar with the father. You know what I mean? But they gave them entirely too much courtesy in not knowing what was going on. They basically should have been handcuffed.
Yep. And number one, we go back again. I'm sorry, I went to break. I did the list wrong. But COVID-19, it was horrible. Still a topic. I mean, it's kind of started in March, and now we in December. We have over 300,000 deaths. I forgot 17 million people have caught the virus. Hopefully in 2021 that we get past. Some people start getting. Whatever you want to do with the shots, getting the shots and not getting the shots. But hopefully we see some light at the end of this tunnel. But COVID-19 is the story, the topic. I think that they changed the election. I think it changed everything in the world. How we gonna go move forward?
I think you can make an argument that it has touched either directly or indirectly every other subject that we've mentioned on this list. You know what I mean? So from online workers to essential workers or anything else, you know what I mean? Even down to the coverage of news and everything. I think it's touched everything, man.